Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Brecher here with the week ahead, August 16th, 2026. What are we watching in here? Well, I think what we should be watching is when do companies stop buying back stock? Now, I know I've been a broken record about this, but right now, so many traders I know are pissed off because the bond market has gone straight down, as you see, and the stock market refuses to go lower. This is typical behavior in August. I don't know why everybody thinks August goes down when usually it goes up, because when do the preponderance of companies start buying back stock? Right here, the end of July. So I just wanted to show you what happened in 2018. Now, this isn't going to be all the video. I just want to show you a prior thing to give you a heads up of how I'm looking at the markets. So the first thing I do is just take the SPX. You can take a weekly chart. We're going to go all the way back to 2018. 2018, right there. S&P didn't care about the bond sell-off. Now, why am I showing it like that? I'll show you. We're going to put on the left, we're going to put the S&P like I just showed you. And on the right, we're going to show the bond market. I'm going to be sure I'm not linking these with the same symbol. We're just going to have a weekly S&P on the left and a weekly bond market on the right. Now, what are you going to watch in here? You're going to see this, and you're going to see the straight up move in the bond market over here. I mean, in the stock market right here. You don't even need the MACD. All we care about is that slope and the timing. Now, on the right, I'm going to show you the bond market in 2018, and you'll see it went straight down, straight down. Does that look familiar? Yeah, look at that, straight down, and the stock market went straight up. Now, you can make every excuse in the book you want about what happened in late 2018, geopolitical, whatever, but the point is, bad news is more likely to rock markets in the buyback blackout, and also if the bond market's already down, because then you don't have a place to hide with yields, so to speak. So I just want you to see that of what we're watching. That's 2008, and when did it stop going up? Right here, right when buyback started. When do buyback blackout? When is buyback blackout? Approximately 5 weeks before earnings. So JP Morgan usually starts it off about October 14th. So you take out 35 days and you're getting to the beginning of September. Yep, right here, right where you're seeing that right here. And when is the crescendo? Well, it's when Apple's earnings minus 5 weeks. That would get you to this area right in here, right in that November 1st area. So in that window, about September 9th to October 20th, that's your area, that's your sweet spot. And it's gone down a lot of times. Now, that doesn't mean it's going down. There was an article that I mentioned in 2019 talking about buybacks, and Goldman Sachs saying it could be a headwind. It's a headwind if you have a bad pattern or bad news. So if I don't see a break of a trend line, you just can't go there and try to anticipate this stuff. You'll get yourself hurt. Now we'll go to now. You're going to take this on the right, the bond market, as you see, getting toasted, and the stock market at all-time highs. Yep, it hasn't mattered yet. When will the trend line matter? Well, you could go back and look. You can take the S&P here. Do you have a defined trend line? No, not really. And I'm telling you, the next time it gets to here, it's going to be a little oversold. Then it'll form another one and all that till, like I said, getting into September. So that could be another 3 or 4 weeks. And sometimes it doesn't start till the beginning of October. So don't blindly think markets have to go down. We're looking for that type of trend line. Right there, that type of trend line. All those touches, you don't have that yet. That can take a long time. So just keep in mind what 2018 looked like. So in the meantime, when you don't have any real crack, because a lot of people get the other thing wrong. When this looks like this in 2018, you see I also showed in 2021, but in 2018 midterm year, if you start buying stocks with good patterns when you see this in the buyback blackout, the problem is the ES will go down. So the things that might have good charts are less likely to work on the upside because the futures are going to pull it down. But in this zone, sure, we can look for long ideas. And that's why I went on the theme this week of the defense stocks. All you're reading in the news is about a lot of the munition stockpiles are dwindling, and it's going to take years to build them back up. Now, the thing is, they talked about that back here. They talked about that back in Northrop back here. Yeah, and the stock went down. You need to, just like I talked about on the bearish patterns, you need to see that chart justification. Well, you saw the chart justification here. So good news is more likely to work once it starts turning around. Now, why am I showing you Northrop? Because you might say, well, Northrop's a little late. Number one, it might not be a little late. Keep in mind, we were long it back here in that 600 level and played it to 700. We haven't played it since because it got under the moving averages. Now that it's reclaiming everything, and a lot of people get this wrong, you might say, well, how do you know the moving average is going to turn up? As one of our favorite things is determining uptrends or downtrends. As you see, downtrend, that's where bears live. Once it started turning, this is higher than 50 days ago. So the moving average is going to curl up. So Northrop, I like the idea of buying on dips, but you're going to see some other ones. You're going to see Lockheed's gone straight up. We know Raytheon, they make the Patriot missiles, has gone straight up. And that went up while Northrop was getting nailed. Luckily, we didn't go into Northrop early. But the key is if those three are going up, I'm going to look for other companies that have started to turn the corner. Now, if I want to be like beggars can't be choosers kind of thing, and I'm like, well, the moving average, I just said I want it to curl up, at least have it curl up on a 4-hour. As you see, Raytheon, you would have caught it really early. So the first thing I did is I just did a scan of active stocks in the defense aerospace sector. That's all I did in here. So you could go into here. I'll show you an easy way. You go into scan, and right here, all I did was I took industry, and I took industry, and I took industrials. It sort of blanks out like this. It's frustrating because it's on a different screen. But it's basically, when I did it, all I did was take stocks with the open interest is at least 2,000 in the defense stocks, and it popped out 34 of them. That's it, 34 of them right here, and I already shared them on Stock Twits. So you have them here. Now, I'm here to help you interpret them on our site, but on the video, I don't mind showing it. And I'll show you what we're talking about. Do you go for a stock like this? Which one looks better? We're going to take a 4-hour and a daily, like I said. Beggars can't be choosers on some of these. Does Fly look good? Yeah, except it's already overbought. That's the only problem with that, and it's at resistance. I'm talking about prior tops become resistance. It's hard to get over them if it's already overbought. But Fly's one. They're trying to reclaim the 50, trying to have a nice pattern. That's how inverse head and shoulders happen. What do I mean by that? Is an inverse head and shoulders takes some time for the overbought condition to get worked off. And that's why when I talk about something working off its overbought well, I'm talking about it works it off by forming a bullish like shoulder. That, or a bullish flag for that matter. But the point is in there that I want it to have this kind of structure, that kind of structure. As you see, that's how cup and handles happen. A Stewie pattern is sort of an inverse head and shoulders. And when I highlight it, and you might have mimosas for lunch, and that would make it easier to see, but it looks like Stewie from Family Guy. The key in here, like I said, you have to work off any kind of overbought condition by sort of futzing around in this area, so then it has enough energy to break up the next time it goes up. But Fly is one. And I can just show you what is my criteria. Number one, I want the chart to look good. I don't want it to be like Northrop back here. You can have all the theories you want back here, but it never looked good. When did it start looking good? Well, you don't play earnings. If it wasn't for earnings, I would have been in early, but you see an inverse head and shoulders. Yep, that Stewie pattern we talk about. So let me just show you some of them we're watching. So GE, I'm telling you right now, all this is, and we can take it on a daily or a 4 hour. Sure looks like a consolidation, and this one is oversold in an uptrend. In fact, I could show you in a 4 hour or a daily, both of them work. GE looks pretty good. Boeing, if it was a $5 stock, I already put this on StockTwits and on other social media. If this was a $5 stock and not Boeing, you'd be like, heck, it's oversold. It's worked off its overbought condition beautifully, made it into a bull flag, and it should go crazy on the upside. If it was a $5 stock, not so news related, you'd be all over it. I'd be all over it. But it's Boeing. You always worry about Boeing. But theoretically, yeah, that's a nice bull flag for you. FTAI, that could be an inverse head and shoulders. Look at that. Yeah, looks like an inverse head and shoulders to me. So how about this one? Hona. No, you don't want to do that. You got to visually be logical about these things. So let's say this has the best business in sliced bread. Why take something that looks bad on a chart and try to be a hero? Why not look for something that looks good on a chart? There you go, MRCY. That looks pretty darn good. That's what we're talking about. And we're going through all the defense stocks and looking for those types of opportunities. FEOYG already had its move. E, not sure of that one. And I'm just telling you, that's what we're doing, and we'll be discussing these on the site. So Kodos already had its move. Wow. But guess what? It was a $100 stock. I would like to see this consolidate for a couple of weeks and get this back to the zero line and retain a bullish structure. And yeah, I'll go near Kodos. Got another one for you. Everybody thought this was some kind of bullish consolidation, bullish squeeze up here at 140. I saw a lot of people lose a lot of money on this 80% sell-off. But guess what? Now everybody's forgotten about it. Nobody believes it. Sure looks pretty good. So I'm going to look to structure bullish spreads in a lot of these stocks that look like they turned the corner. What does turn the corner mean? Well, you might say on a daily chart, the moving average is still going down. We have found that a 4 hour chart that has reclaimed its 50 moving average or that ATR trailing stop, those have been working pretty well. So we're going to have a list of them that we're going to go through on our site, and we're going to structure trades accordingly. Now, keep in mind, I don't plan to be in these more than about 3 weeks because of, number one, the midterm effect, and number two, by then they'll be up at maybe at resistance areas. So our time frame on this will probably be to September expiration. Have a great night. Hope you enjoy this. Take care.